imagine, like all of these rivets that were put in? That is so cool. Yeah, just be careful, please. We don't want any injuries.
It's pretty decent, I think, yeah. It's just that whole big concrete block must have got kicked over a little bit.
Oh!
That's why it's derailed. Yeah, so the wheels will be off because the wrench is
Once that wheel is just hanging on the rail by that much is what's keeping it up. And the other one's completely off. It's just catching,
So I wonder if it's because it's right up against that concrete.
But that whole big block there must have got kicked over.
Well, I think somebody said that the last somebody had.
The pin could possibly have been drained like that. The pivot was good, right?
So I'm sorry. Did you say you didn't think that the pin was a problem? Just from your
It looks pretty heavy
observation.
duty. It looks like maybe the whole foundation might have kicked over.
Oh wow!
Just a guess.
So I wonder if we were to somehow be able to move that over.
You think the concrete moved or it hit that?
You think it'd be tipped if it moved, the concrete moved, maybe?
Because this is what we would like to do is get it done. Yeah, that would be ideal.
See, what you need is to get a crane, pick it up, and then block the ends up so you can work on things. And, you know.
Yeah, but to find a crane big enough to move it. Well, that's what I thought. These guys said that they had, well, I heard that they had some really big cranes, but I don't think they were big enough to do this, yeah.
But if you find out the weight from somebody, well, New Zealand, Ottawa, I think would be my, or just phone Pat.
Well, yeah, Pat would probably be the...
Pretty good guess. He'd come close, yeah.
Probably within just a couple ounces.
Because that was his job, you know, they were looking after cranes and all kind of stuff like, so he was familiar with lifting heavy stuff up. So.
Well, gosh, then he could tell us how to do
He'll
it,
give
yeah.
you a pretty good look. And then you get one on each end, pick it up and block it, and then you can do whatever.
Oh, wow.
Put them into place.
Yeah. Wow. Because that is what we would really like to get, is to get it moving.
It's some of them big loaders too. I don't know. The big giant loaders. I don't know if one on each end would pick it or not.
I don't know, without...
I work in the coal mine out at Sheerness or something, and a couple of those big loaders, one on each end. They gently pick it up and block it.
Yeah. Without damaging the concrete and the...
Yeah. Well, yeah, they still set up so it should be.
Yeah. Built here or shipped here in pieces or shipped in...
You're talking about the bridge?
Yeah.
Well, the bridge probably was built by Dominion Steel, Winnipeg or Montreal or somewhere. Hamilton or something. Yeah, or Hamilton, yeah.
And then shipped in one piece?
On a car, yeah. Put it on a car. Or two. Yeah, probably two cars, one each end on a car.
So the bridge you're talking about is the...
All this iron here. All
Really? That's got to weigh tons too, hey?
The two HRS signs.
Yeah.
Is called the bridge.
Yeah.
See, I never knew that. So
Turntable bridge.
So you figure in one piece or two maybe. Wow.
Yeah, but it's pretty heavy. You see how it's hard to handle here. In two pieces. Then I brought it one and skidded it in.
But like, how would they have been able to move it? By like skidding it?
Steam crane. Run my steam.
Wow.
Oh yeah, pick it up. Pick it up like nothing. Yeah.
Well, I guess if you have some of those cranes picking up trains that have fallen over, yeah, because those.
Pretty heavy too.
Oh, wow. That is pretty awesome. Well, see, we were looking at Ballard was here doing some line work for the communications and such, And I asked if there was any chance that their cranes could be able to lift this so we could see what it was like underneath. And they said, well, we'd have to figure out how much it might weigh and what the liability would be. And I don't know that their crane could have lifted it.
Well, one in each end picked it up, but I don't know any ton this way, so.
Oh, wow.
Pat Murray, you should have asked him that this morning.
Never thought of, no, I had him, he was, I had a friend interviewing him for us.
Pat would have had a pretty good idea what this would weigh.
The recent design drawings, are they still around?
Yeah, the drawings for it, yeah, from the drawings.
Wow.
And it'd be all the weights, I imagine, they available someplace. It's a matter of finding them.
Well, that, yeah. Did you think through CN or through a different group of CN?
I don't know, there's a lot of railway buffs around. Like even in Ottawa, there's a big railroad museum there. Somebody there probably would know for sure.
Okay. Well, that's a good lead. We'll have to check that out.
There's that, I've never been in that railroad museum in Ottawa. They got all kinds of...
Yeah, but there'd be probably lots of data on these turntables.
Oh. I've been looking mostly on the building, but because this hasn't been assessed on what it would cost to repair the platform and such.
The same as bridges and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Building.
Well, that makes sense. Wow. Well, I was talking to Pat a little bit earlier, and he said when he came here, he didn't know that if he would see anybody that he recognized, and so he was telling me about working on doing some other things. And he said, you know, there were some guys here that I met from working on something else, because he talked about having a line along the tracks now. So it was you guys. He was so thrilled to have seen you guys.
Oh, yeah.
So just wanted to share that.
So to see him too.
It was mutual.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, him and I worked with Andy too, and John, we worked on projects together a little bit way back in the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a great guy to work with.
30 years ago now.
Yeah, I guess still 30 years ago. I've been retired 21.
Wow.
We got some history, all right. I don't know if we know anything, but...
Oh, yes, you do. Yeah, no doubt about that. You do. More than who else would know anything more? You guys actually did all that, so that is great.
We were more electrical types, you know. But,
Yeah, well, electrical is important too.
it's pretty cute to have kept it anyways.
Yes, the fellow that bought this property from CN fought to keep this turntable. And otherwise, I believe it would have been going to the Calgary Heritage Museum. So thank goodness that he did, because we're probably one of the only that have both the turntable and the roundhouse. Because a lot have one or the other, but not both. So thank goodness yeah. So that is so cool. So that's great.
Oh, it's all cute. It's pretty good,
Yeah, we love it.
When you want to release it, it was a brake and a hand brake and a hand.
Yeah, one guy ran the brake, the other one turned the crank slowly. Once the guy in the brake slipped, the crank just slipped on. And then one time they were, I was up at St. Paul, I think, or one of those places they were lowering a block in a hole. And the guy on the brake was handling the brake, and somehow he let it go, and the guy on the crank, he got back before it hit him and killed him. And it flew away over to the elevator track, and there was two guys unloading the car load of fertilizer. And they had both doors in the box truck, and the crank went right through the door. Never hit him. And then nobody would go get the crank, because they figured out these guys might figure out what had happened.
Didn't want to own them.
No, they didn't want to own nothing. They screwed. I could have whacked one of them guys on the head. One of the stupid car.
Where's home for you people?
I'm in Saskatoon now, but I worked my career in Edmonton.
Did you?
Oh, where you live in Saskatoon?
Yeah.
Oh, where in Saskatoon?
In the southeast part there.
Okay. Yeah.
Just south of Taylor on Kingston Boulevard.
Yeah. I grew up out by Grandora.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Lived right along the CPR line.
So are you all guys, all of you are from Saskatoon?
No, these. I'm not in Calgary now.
Oh, wow.
Outside Calgary, it's
So obviously you guys keep in touch, eh?
You work on the rail too.
yeah.
You have to come and make sure that pub was here.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I've got 4 or 5 in the city.
Oh, that's too bad.
You want to go grab it?
Do you want me? I can run and get it. I'll run it.
Fixed it.
Yeah.
You know, is my sidewalk cracked and broken? You know, like,
Oh, yeah.
at the end of the day.
For sure. Yeah.
You know, like the real big picture stuff, sure, people get all riled up about it, but what makes it a good place to live is, you know, are the park's nice, or the street's good, is the
That's
city
where in
safe,
Hannah
or
we
the,
have a
you
lot
know?
of beautiful amenities that way. You know, we have a lot of good things that, you know, that can attract people. That,
Well, that's good.
you know.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, it's
More
like
than
this is
just a
just
home of
like I
miners,
say, my
Donald,
political
Nickelback.
career is just beginning, but it's a challenge, and I'm like really looking forward to it. You know, to see what we can do.
Yeah. Well, I think
We have a new council. There's 5 of us are new on council, and we're young. We got a lot of aggressive ideas, and we're going to try and make some good things happen.
well, you get along with the provincial government.
Well, it's like it's. I
Yeah,
guess
because that
like,
helps a lot. In a
same thing, as long as they're giving us money, we can get along with them quite well. It's when they tighten their wallet up and things don't go so good. Yeah.
Was it a tough election? Were there lots of people wanting to?
Yeah, there was 15 of us around for the 6th.
We heard earlier, beehive of activity right here where we're at. Did you ever bring a train in here?
When I worked hired on in 1974, we had the diesel locomotives here then. The steamers were pretty well a thing of the past. But on this turntable here, I remember working here. We turned diesel engines on here, and our shop repair guys had a shop and everything here. The engine watchmen, they took care of the diesels and fueled them and watered them and cleaned out the garbage and things like that, got them for the next road trips.
Wow.
And then when our road units come in, a lot of times we'd set engines off or fix them up or fuel them or whatever. And it, you know, there was people worked here 24/7.
Tell me what it was like driving a train onto a turntable and spinning.
Well, at the time, I was the brakeman on it. I didn't get the thrill running the throttle to drive it on, but just standing there and watching the engine go onto it and seeing once you hook the air hose to the turntable and got it to turn, just to see the power of this table itself, how it could turn something like that. It seemed like it was just a little miniature engine sitting on there. It was quite a thing to see this working to operate, like see it operating, and you know, it's a very unique thing, this turntable. It's I know in my lifetime I'll probably never see another one as good a shape as this one yet, unless it has been completely already restored.
So for you, what do you think it would mean to have this whole place restored?
Well, to have this whole thing restored would be a great draw to the province of Alberta, not only to the town of Hannah, but to the province of Alberta, because like Red said earlier, there's rail buffs from all over North America that come to places like this that are interested in things like this. It's a big draw, and I think it's in the best interest of the provincial and federal governments to get behind this project and try and restore this building, because it means a lot, because they just ain't any of these anymore around, and we need this.
What brought me out here, though, is it the Hannah Animal Society is hoping to win a contest to get some money to do this. I mean, why do you think the rest of Canada should vote for this?
Well, it's because it's a Canadian thing. This isn't just a Hannah thing. It was a Canadian National Railway, and I think it's in the best interest of all Canadians to be proud to have something like this restored. And I hope that they can win this money and put it toward getting this thing started, so that we can eventually restore this building, because it's worth a try.
I don't think you can put any better than that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
50% here.
They'll just press a button in there and it'll spray yellow paint on the rail
Just to mark it.
to mark it.
Oh.
And then they'll document it, what mileage it was. and everything, and then they do our whole section, and then we'd find maybe, say, 3 or 4 rails, eh? So we'd have to, we'd get word from the roadmaster, we'd get prepared to change those out.
Okay.
Set out flags,
Yep.
so stop trains and that, and we'd go ahead and change those out. So we'd have to haul rails out. So when we'd take 2 push cars like this, we'd double get the next section crew down from us there, come and help us, and then we'd help them back.
Yeah.
We'd take rails on 2 push cars, spread these push cars apart 30 feet and put one end on this car and one end on that car, and then the speeder on the front, and away we go.
Yeah.
Down there, when we got to those markings, we'd dump rails, we'd scatter the rails out that way,
And come back.
and then hook the 2 push cars together and go back for another load or whatever, or go and help them, eh?
Yeah.
So that's how we hauled the rails out.
How much do those rails weigh?
About 600 pounds. The 60-pound ones do.
Holy crow.
That's the light rail. 33 foot
What
length.
would that stuff there be considered that we just?
Oh, that's 100 pound.
I know when
100 pounds per the yard. Yeah.
moved it with my tractor. It's not a big tractor, but about 4 or 5 of those is about all it would
Oh,
start to pick
that's
the back end.
that's really heavy. That's 100 pounds per yard. Yeah.
Wow.
Especially
I
the
believe this is 100 pounds.
ones where it
Yeah.
switch gear, whatever you call it, where it crosses.
Yeah.
There's a few
The
of them.
frog. I seen a frog there.
Is that what that is?
That's called a frog. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's still a couple of them down.
Yes, there's one right
one
here.
on these 2, yeah. Then right
One
on
right
those
on opposite the trailer. There's a switch and a frog there.
Yeah.
That's where one rail crosses over the other
Yeah.
one like that.
That is pretty neat. And
Yeah, I think it's in that switch, right? There's or in the trees. There's a switch.
Yes, there's a switch right
There's
here
one.
behind the trailer.
Yeah.
that yellow thing that we saw,
That's a derail.
a derail.
Yeah.
And you said don't ever run into one of those with a
Well,
speeder.
those are put there for safety.
Oh, over here at the far end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're up on the rail, and they're purposely to derail a runaway car.
Oh,
When it's
okay.
on the rail and locked on, say there's a runaway car and this is the main line. Well, you don't want that car going out on the main line and then a train hitting it.
Yeah.
So what they do is, if there's a runaway that hits that derail, off she goes and onto the ground and stops. Comes to a stop.
Wow.
And then,
So you could deflect it whichever direction.
yeah,
it is to
usually away from
the other one.
the main line.
Yeah.
Way it would go that way.
When they weigh a ton too, don't they?
So like they had them in Stettler there at the P&H grain elevator when they loaded a full load of grain.
Yeah.
And then pushed the car out by hand or with a winch, that rope capstan they had there, and they had them get away on them. The boy start going, and it's downhill there towards the derail, and put the handbrakes on, all they could put on, but it still wouldn't stop it, and went down, crept down there, hit the derail, over the derail, and on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, a
Wow.
load. So you know what that takes to get that back up again,
Yeah.
and it's costly.
Yeah.
So then they really get after the elevator agent or whoever did that, to pick up part of the cost or
Yeah.
all of
you'd
the
have
cost to
clean
re-rail
dump
that
the whole
thing
car
again.
out into another one, and then
No,
no.
they hook on the other end of the car with a engine, and they have re-railers
Oh,
that
okay.
you can fit down. That goes on top of the rail here, and then it's a big casting, and it goes out sideways, and you fit it right underneath those wheels that are on the ground.
Just kind of climbs up on you.
And yeah, climbers.
Oh.
And get them to pull, and gradually it starts up on those climbers, and they'll pull it little at a time, and right back up on the rail again.
Okay.
Yeah, but it takes time to do that, and it takes
Yeah.
labor to fit those under there.
Yeah.
You got to attach them to a tie. You either got to spike them down underneath there so that the wheels don't slide.
Sure.
I've had to help do it
Okay.
when I was a section man there.
Lot of work.
Yeah, they get the re-railers down and get down underneath there and start spiking them down, and then when we got them all down, and get out of there, and then the train crew would give a signal, and they'd start to pull slowly back.
Drag it back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there was down in the ties, it would just cut through those ties, you know, and
Yeah, I
you
suppose.
could hear the ties cracking and
Wow.
coming apart, you know.
Then you have to replace all that. I
Yeah,
suppose,
then
after.
once it's up on the rail, then we have to go in there and put new ties in and re-spike it again and re-gauge it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what they're for. But we did run over a derail with a speeder, and that wasn't a very nice ride.
No.
When we went over that and hit the ground, I'll tell you, it wasn't funny. And that happened because it was a frosty rail.
Oh.
The old foreman that was on there, we were in a siding where that derail, and we were backing up because there was a work gang there, and we were getting out of their way, and the rail was it was a frosty morning. It was white frost on the rail. So we're backing up, and we told him, we said, we got a derail down here, better slow down, you know, we better. So he puts our brakes on, and he's thinking it's summertime, you know, we're really gonna stop, and we didn't. We just slid, brakes are on, and we just went like a curling rock, eh?
Yeah.
Hit that derail and on the ground, and
Wow.
everybody, all those gangs saw this, and they're laughing like crazy, you know, and yeah, we all jumped off there, and it's a rough ride when you leave that track on one of these.
Yeah, because they'd have got no suspension to start with.
No, there's no suspension and nothing literally to hang on to.
No.
Nobody got
So I
hurt
often
or?
get hurt very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So you can run over them. Another bad thing that we run over was torpedoes on the track.
Torpedoes?
Yeah, that you clip on the rail. You'll have them in the flagging kits. Eh? We do when you go out with that flagging kit. I notice you have one on display.
Is that red thing?
Yeah, the red.
Okay.
With the flag.
That was in some of that stuff. That.
You clip those on the rail, and they're full of gunpowder.
Oh.
I got two little wire clips. You clip them on the rail. We'll put a pair here opposite. We'll go one telegraph pole down and put another two on. If you're going to stop a train, and then you'll go down 600 yards beyond that with the flag and wait.
Yep.
And then if there's a train coming, then you start giving him the stop signal long before he hits them torpedoes. But if he doesn't see you and he hits them, if they go kaboom, you know, and there's big blue smoke flies up, and then kaboom again, you know. You keep flagging him down. This is the stop signal that you give, eh?
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll start stopping.
And why do you do that? When do you use them? When it's a runaway, or
No, if you have to stop a train
for an emergency or
some
something.
reason, for an emergency.
Okay, like if
you
there's
have
something
a
across the
bridge collapsed at south of Trochu on the track. They were building a highway overpass, and they were pouring the cement on that dam overpass.
Yeah.
And for some reason or other, it let go and it went down on the track.
Right.
And that's
Wow.
on the main line at the Three Hills sub. So I was sent out on the east end of it towards Trochu to flag trains on the east side, and then you send another man on the other way. Eh? Stop any trains.
Yeah.
Till they get this cleared out.
Yeah.
So I did stop one coming out of Trochu.
It's kind of a neat trestle, that one south of Three Hills, eh? On if you're on this road heading, and instead of going north up to Three Hills, just keep going west.
Yeah.
There's one, I guess where the Three Hills golf course is south, goes across that little valley. There's not a real high trestle, but it's fairly long.
Yeah.
Up where my cousin lives by south of Alex, there's a trestle. I don't know if you've ever been down that rail. It goes, there's a big valley there where the river runs, kind of winds around.
Is that the trestle bridge over the Red Deer River?
Yeah.
On the Three Hills sub? That's called the Ardley Bridge.
This one would be, like it would be west of Stettler. If you went, where they live, I don't know if you've ever gone Highway 11 from Stettler to Red Deer. Yeah. You know, when you go past the, what's the gas plant?
Nevis Gas Plant,
Nevis.
where I worked for 35 years.
Okay. Keep going west for, I don't know, what would that be? Well, when you're going west and then there's the road that goes north to Alex, just keep going west past that. You kind of come through a valley. And then if you turn in the bottom of that valley, went south about, it's only probably a mile south of that Highway 11.
Yeah.
But it goes across that. The river kind of comes from the east, then it turns, goes north, and then it actually makes just like a horseshoe. It comes around and then
That
back.
is over the, that is the Ardley Bridge then.
Is it? Okay.
Has it got a center steel span?
I think
And then
so,
the
yeah.
ends are wooden span.
Yeah, I believe so.
The ends are, that's Ardley Bridge.
Okay.
That's over the Red Deer
It's
River,
kind of scenic. They actually, where that trestle is, they're pretty much, well, they'd be a little north, but west of that and north.
Yeah.
Just a hair.
Yeah, I used to go fishing down there a lot when I worked on
Okay.
on the Brazos sub. I worked on the first section on the Brazos sub.
Yeah.
It was called Cog Hill.
If you went, well, actually from there, where their house, you walk about, from here to them gravel piles down their lane out to the main road. And if you
Yeah.
crossed over the main road, you go into a pasture about probably 200 feet, and then it's just like almost a straight drop off
Yeah.
down into that valley.
Yeah.
And then yeah, that is kind of the south.
And the
East
big
of-
bridge is east of that then?
Yeah, southeast of there.
Southeast of that? Yeah.
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 Yeah, it looks neat.
Do you have relatives there then?
My cousin married the guy she married. Yeah. Yeah, those ones end about where that cement block is.
Yeah.
And then these other two north ones kind of end by the tree.
Yeah.
Or the,
Do you know what this foundation was?
We're trying to figure this out, but I'd have to look at the photographs in the roundhouse. And
There is one that really has a good picture on the side I had never seen before. It's got lots of detail.
yeah, I'd like to know what was here.
I think there
would
was.
there have been tracks over this far at one time, I wonder? I suppose there must have been.
Yes, it shows in the drawing one, in a photograph in there, one track that came out further south of the turntable and out this way somehow.
Oh, okay.
In this area.
Yep.
There was, yeah.
Well, there's a rail bed just on the other side. There's trees.
Is there?
Yes.
Okay, that's where it was then.
And was that for dumping coal?
That I'm not sure either. There probably was an ash pit
Yeah.
that they ran the engines over top of and dumped the fireboxes out
Okay.
before they went in the roundhouse.
Yeah.
They still had a full head of steam on the engine, but then they would drop all the fire out in that ash pit and then run in the roundhouse just on what steam they had in the pressure they had in the boiler. So
Okay.
One of the, I can't remember his name, the fellow that was the machinist, was in the boiler room, and he said where the ladies' washroom is, that concrete that sticks up, there was a coal pit there.
oh yeah,
He said at one time.
yeah,
So I'd never even thought of that.
yeah.
And that there was a coal shed on the closest to the door on the south side of that area where those windows are higher,
Yeah.
and they're only partial part of the wall.
Yeah. Well, I know they had a coal bin on the west side of the machine shop for the two boilers that were in there.
Okay.
That's where they got their coal to fire those boilers from.
Mm-hmm.
Was on. I remember it too. It was on. It was on the southwest corner of that
Yes.
machine shop.
Yeah, there's a little door there, and
Yeah.
that's where the windows, they're not the full-length windows, they're shorter. He also said that there was a wreck in there at one time, that one of the boilers blew up,
Oh.
and that those boilers need to be rebuilt like every 4 years.
Yes. Yes, they do. Same as locomotive 6060 that Harry's working on.
Yeah.
Every 5 years that locomotive has to be stripped down, superheaters taken out of it, and done its 5-year turnover.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, before the ABSA, the Alberta Safety Association, will give them a certificate of
Being able to be on.
operation, so
yeah.
it's certified once again.
What a lot of work.
Yes, we're going to do that starting now, this coming weeks here.
Oh.
We have to strip
That's
that
the one
engine
in
all
the-
down. It's that Warden.
Warden.
That belongs to the Prairie Steam guys?
No, it doesn't. It belongs to Rocky Mountain Rail Society.
Okay.
That's the one in Jasper? No.
Well, yeah. Well, their head office actually is in Calgary.
Okay.
Yeah, Harry is the main mechanical supervisor,
Yeah, but you do a lot on that too.
and I'm part of the mechanical committee.
And what do you do on it?
I do
Whatever needs to be done?
everything and anything needs to be done. We'll start stripping the boiler lagging off of it, which is the tin and the insulation that's under it. That insulates the boiler. We'll strip that lagging off, that tin off, and we'll store it in a boxcar nearby. Then we'll take all fiberglass off
Mm-hmm.
and bag it all, and it goes to a dumpster. Then we've got the front end of the whole front end of the boiler off,
Oh, wow.
and go in there and start pulling the superheater tubes out.
I think I've seen
Unbolting them
pictures of you guys doing
and
that.
pulling all those superheaters out. And there's 50 some of those, I think, to pull out, and they're really heavy. They consist of 4 tubes, the length of the boiler. There's 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top, and they're long as the boiler, and then they bend up on the one end, and that bolts to the throttle body. You got to unbolt that and pull those out of the flues.
Wow.
Superheaters are the tubes that, when the steam leaves the boiler down what they call the dry pipe to the throttle, it goes down into these superheater tubes, back through the boiler flues. Those tubes go inside the boiler flues, back through the boiler flues, and then back again to the throttle body, and then down to the cylinders, which means that any wet steam off the boiler is superheated, goes back through towards the firebox through the flues, and so that the heat from the firebox and the fire can have another go at the steam.
Okay. Just so it's dry.
Yeah, and dry it.
Yeah.
So that when it comes out to the other end at the throttle, to the front end to the cylinders, it's totally dry. There's no condensate left in it.
Oh, wow.
So therefore, you're gaining that much more power out of that water.
Yeah.
That normally, if you didn't have those superheaters, you'd blow it out the stack or whatever, it blow out as wet steam. So it's improving the efficiency by another 75% or more.
Wow.
More than that, I think.
So is it like recirculating
It's
almost? Okay.
Yeah, it recirculates it back. The steam water, the steam off the boiler back toward the firebox and back again.
Wow.
And the fire is all around those superheater tubes. So we got to pull all those out. And they're heavy. I mean, it would take 4 men. All you can lift is to lift one element, one unit of those.
You're kidding.
You got a shop down there you guys work in?
Well, we do, but it's only, it's very narrow. There's 2 tracks in it.
Okay.
But it's too close it was made for diesel storage.
Oh.
Just to run them in and keep them in there in the winter. It wasn't meant for maintenance much. Like 6060 will go in there, and it goes in and it just fits in there. The front end of it's right up against the north wall, and the back end we got about 5 feet just to walk in behind it. And on the left hand side of it, we got 3/4 of an inch between the engine and the wall.
Holy crap.
So we can only work on the right hand side.
Wow.
So in order to pull these flues out, superheater tubes out, we got to pull it outside. Pull them all outside and then stack them in the building in front of it then.
My gosh.
Yeah,
That's
a big job ahead of us.
Warden is
Wow.
deciding on the way to Big Valley, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, first place south of Stettler.
Yeah.
You'll see
There used to be a guy that had like a butcher shop or something in that area, right?
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hugh
maybe
Charles.
still is.
Hugh Charles used to run that. Yeah, he's passed away now.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So when we're all done holidays here and Harry's done and we're going to get a group of volunteers together.
Strong volunteers.
It's all volunteer.
Wow.
We're going to start yarding those things out of there and insulation off. And the boilers, ABSA, they want it everything buffed, all the boiler lap seams that are riveted. They want all those buffed with a wire brush. We'll use an angle grinder and a cut brush.
Yep.
Buff all that. All the rivet heads have to be ground a 1/4 of an inch circle on, so they can put their, for non-destructive testing, to check for broken rivets.
Oh, okay.
And stay bolts.
Like,
Like X-ray.
yeah.
Yeah, non-destructive testing they call it. So those all got to be ground flat so they can do the test on them. So we got an awful lot of all.
How long does it take them to inspect it then, once you got everything prepped?
Probably better part of 4 days,
Right.
5 days, yeah.
Are they, and now this is standard, or are they putting extra checks on it because it's an older piece of equipment?
Because it's 5-year
No, but is that it?
inspections up.
Okay, but that's what they're doing would be standard for the 5-year
Yes,
inspection.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
like even my sandblasting pot, they come actually do it every year.
Yeah,
That one's kind of a joke because they
yeah.
he takes the handhole cover off
Yeah.
and he kind of looks in there and
Yeah,
flashlight.
anything that's a pressure vessel,
Yeah,
and that falls under ABSA,
Yeah.
boilers branch. Yeah. They're very strict on this stuff because they cannot pass anything without all this inspection being done and going down on documented,
yeah.
on file.
Yeah, a
and
boiler
that,
like
so
that would pack a pretty big wallop, eh? It'd be like
Oh, it
a
would,
big bomb if it ever let go.
flatten everything for miles around it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
for sure. Yeah, it carries 300 pounds of steam. So.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
So they won't give them a cab card to continue service with it until all this inspection's done and the hydro testing is done.
Mm-hmm.
Once the inspection's done, all the tubes are back in it again and we have to do a hydro.
How do they seal them, like where they're riveted, where they overlap? How do they actually seal that between the plates where they're lapped?
Those rivets are, as you know, they're put in there hot
Yeah.
and
They just shrink enough to.
yeah, and then where the bottom of the lap seam, this bottom part of the lap seam here goes over top the other one.
Yeah.
They go along and they caulk that.
Oh, okay.
Like it's like would be like a chisel,
Oh.
and they go along that bottom there and they can peen that down tight against the other sheet,
So,
right tight.
yeah.
And then those are riveted tight enough together when they're hot like that it'll seal up because in time you'll finally get enough rust and stuff out of the water that'll seal up.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there was certain water that was really rotten water to deal with because some water has more chemicals in it that really wreaks
Some
havoc
water
with
was
that.
terrible. It would foam. It would do foaming in the boiler. And it would build a huge bunch of foam on top of the water, and it would carry water over into the cylinders. And then they'd start to stall out. They'd lose power
Yep.
because you got no steam then. You got foam and water and no steam. So that was a lot of bad water. Harry said that water in Mirror, I think he said, was really bad.
Machichi, I think as
and
well.
Another one for
Yeah.
foaming. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I heard last year.
Yeah.
I suppose in the water, eh? That.
Yeah, the stuff in the water, from different chemicals in the water.
And Larry I was asking him about how much coal he shoveled. He shoveled lots of coal.
Where would it come from, Sheerness, or where would they get their coal for here?
This, I think, was probably mainly Drumheller.
Was it?
Yeah, they had many mines at Drumheller.
Yeah.
So.
And was that the better coal?
Yeah, the deep coal would be, the anthracite
That's
coal
right.
was the better.
Grandpa, when he came out here from Quebec when he was a kid,
Yeah.
that's where I think his first job was in one of the mines at
Yeah,
Drumheller.
yeah. See, this at Sheerness here, that's more surface coal. Like
Yeah.
they're stripping that with big drag lines.
Yeah.
You could take enough dirt off that to get down to the coal.
Yeah.
But that's not really the real hard coal like you get when you're when you go down in a deep mine,
Yeah.
where there's more pressure on it like that, I think that's called anthracite.
Okay. Yeah.
So like they get under, like they did at Nordegg, where they went under a mountain and brought it out,
Yeah.
and they made briquettes out of it at Nordegg. That briquette plant's still all in place there yet.
Is
You
it?
can tour it
Wow.
through there. It's really very interesting.
Wow.
Where they made the locomotive briquettes.
Yeah.
We went in the
So,
Bellevue one down in the pass there by
oh yeah,
Pincher Creek,
Yeah.
west of Pincher.
yeah,
That was a few years ago. One summer, you go back in. It's about 1,000 feet
yeah,
from the entrance back.
yeah.
And boy, is it dark in there.
Yeah.
You got your little headlamps, and then they have everybody turn them off when you
Yeah.
get there. And cold.
Mhm.
Boy, I'll bet it was 30 degrees
Yeah.
Celsius outside.
Wow.
And as soon as you walk up to the opening going into the shaft there, it's just like you're walking in front of an air conditioner.
Cold blast, eh?
Yeah, it felt nice.
Yeah.
It's our security. Kelly from,
Peterson,
yeah, is it Four Seasons?
all season.
All Seasons. Lent us that. And I said, make sure you got a
not
sign.
all season. Checkered flag.
Checkered flag. He's provided us with that side by side.
Who's doing the security?
I'm not sure yet.
That's it for at night, you mean, or what?
Yeah.
Donald was their name.
McDonald's. Metal barrels. So they easily shot through them.
Brats.
2 shells, yeah.
I get that. I bet that got old pretty fast.
It didn't really seem to bother us too much because, it was just part of a day's work. If
Yeah.
you had to do it again, you did it again. It was
Yeah.
Something
a
to
No.
day's work, eh?
Yeah.
Didn't matter. It was, maybe say it was easier than putting ties in or,
Oh, yeah.
or lifting track and tamping ties by
Yeah,
hand
yeah.
with your foot.
Yeah.
It was easier than that, so. didn't
Yeah, they got
matter.
it pretty easy nowadays, eh?
Oh,
All the fancy
yeah.
equipment.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe it. They drive out there in the truck. They got all hydraulic equipment,
Yeah.
pull spikes. They got hydraulic wrenches to put on these nuts
Yeah.
and tighten them or loosen them. We did all this by hand with a hand wrench,
Yeah.
Yeah.
by hand. If we
Well,
were
even
changing,
the ties, I noticed now they had a machine. Well, probably a lot of them are concrete now, I suppose, but it would actually grab them. It looked like pulled them out
Yes.
straight out this way, and
Yes,
then
they do.
stuffed another one back
yeah,
in.
they shove another one in,
Yeah.
and then they got a machine comes along and spikes it.
Okay.
Drives hydraulics them spikes in, and then the tamping machine comes behind that and forces the ballast under the tie, so
Oh,
they're
yeah.
taking weight.
Yep.
And
Wow.
then there's another machine comes along and levels the ballast out.
Yep.
Where the tamper tamps it in, they leave a hole in the ballast, so they fill all that in with that
Yep.
with that Kershaw, they call it, ballast regulator.
Okay.
So it's all done by automation now.
Yeah.
Which was, when I was on there, it was still all by hand yet.
And how
Yeah.
many people would be on a crew to do that, like
At
to
the
lay
last
track?
there was only 2 of us. There
Wow.
was 2 of us for 25 miles of track.
Right.
Yeah, before they cut the sections off completely and went all automation,
Okay.
all to gangs, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, maintenance gangs with all
You
this.
never worked on any of those then?
No,
No.
I quit then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was, I would have been away all the time, and we had one little girl then, and
Oh yeah.
so then I had a chance to get on at the Nevis gas plant there.
Okay.
So I started on there as a maintenance helper, doing maintenance work in the plant, and I just hung on there and hung in there and
Yep.
stayed there.
Mm-hmm.
And we bought a little place in Erskine, and
Yep.
we were a block from school. And I
Perfect.
was 10 minutes from work, and
Yep.
it's just stayed there right till,
We camped at Content Bridge there quite a few years ago.
oh yeah,
Actually, twice now, I guess.
yeah.
We had a mom's side family reunion years ago, and then we stayed on the west side of the road the last time with my aunt,
Oh yeah.
a couple
yeah.
cousins, one weekend.
You would have been fairly close to the plant, then you could hear it running. You'd
Yeah.
hear the compressors rumbling. Eh?
It's
Yeah,
just
because
to the
Content
north
is
of it.
basically just kind of down the hill,
It's
isn't
just
it?
down the hill there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a nice. Cause there was a little store just on
Yes,
the
there
other
was a
side,
little
kind of an
confectionery
antique
there.
shop or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was ended up in that plant for 35 years.
Right.
Stayed there.
It's still going, right?
Oh yeah, it's still
Yep.
going.